hugs, everyone, and welcome to Pass the Mic. I'm so glad you joined me today. I have an amazing woman that you're not going to be able to get enough of. I'm telling you, you're just going to want to eat her up. Carmel Maguire.
Ciao.
World, this is an amazing woman, and she's taken time out of her busy schedule to come and play with us. And our song, Sunrise, Sunset, from Fiddler on the Roof. Sunrise, sunset, sunrise, sunset, drifting all over you. Here is a little girl I love,
laden with happiness and tears. Such a favorite. Love it.
That's the song of the week, Sunrise, Sunset. And that's a perfect song for us.
Oh, it's a wonderful, wonderful song. It's been my favorite for years. And my children's. My children, I played the piano and the children would sing, and when I look at those children now, the oldest is 60, don't ask. I'm in Panama.
Did you hear that?
I'm in Panama a couple of months ago, and I'm at the concierge desk getting my flight tickets for the next morning. And two women from Israel, two sisters, beautifully dressed. They're there for one of the daughter's weddings. And I said, oh, and they grow so fast. My oldest is 60. She goes, 60? How can you have a 60-year-old daughter? I said, well, I'm 81. She goes, no. And she goes like this and she starts feeling my face. Who did you? I said, nobody. Oh, excuse me. Nobody. Who did you? Well, nobody did me, but you know what? It's all here, ladies. It's all here. It's what you think. Piensa bueno. You got to think positively and well, and you've got to think every day is a gift, because I just finished 6 months of chemo, and every day is a gift. Every day you wake up in the morning and you look at that sky and you say, I got another day to be naughty.
Didn't I tell you? You were gonna eat her up. Just eat her up. And I don't think she's ever met a stranger.
No. There are only gifts in the world that have been passing my path. Only gifts. And I always say, if you don't like somebody, you look for the gift in the dysfunction.
Look for the gift in the dysfunction. These are pearls, pearls of wisdom.
Or as we say in New York, pearls. So listen, I was raised in New York. 48 years later, I'm in California. And 48 years I've been living here with my children, and I still miss the big city. I still miss the Big Apple, but I traveled all over the world with my late husband, so I learned a lot about a lot of people. And people are all the same.
People are. We all want to be loved. We want to laugh. We want to spend time with our family and friends.
Want our children to be safe.
Yeah.
I went back to university after 48 years, this old broad with a backpack, and I taught the kids Italian at Cal Lutheran University right here in Thousand Oaks. And one of our genres was women's experience. So I went to Brazil and China, and I interviewed women. They all said the same thing. They want to be loved, they want a safe environment, they want food for their children.
Yes.
But they want the same thing. We're such a global village if we'd only understand that, but we want to fight and be angry with each other and politically this way, politically that way. You know, every day is a gift, as I keep saying. And when I met these women in these different areas of the world, and I hear the same thing.
The same thing. It's universal.
Just universal.
Correctly, you went back to college? Who goes back to college?
Me did. I had a 4-year scholarship to St. Joseph's College for Women in Brooklyn, New York. Great teachers, the Josephite nuns. And my home life was really it was more and more violent every day. So I left. I know. That's what I want to tell you, women. You've always got a chance. With violence or not, you've always got a chance. So anyway, many years later, I said...
How old were you when
I went back? Okay, let's see. I graduated in 04 or 05. I guess I was in my 60s, I guess, and with a backpack. And I taught Italian to the kids that we were going to study the art and sculpture of the Renaissance in Italy.
Oh.
So I had the opportunity to teach them some Italian, and then when we went to Italy, they knew how to say no necessario, impossibile. And I taught these kids, and I went with a backpack, and I had a ball. It was the worst hotel, it was the lousiest food because we were just tourists, wasn't
Right.
the real Italian food. And I did a triple major, of course, in drama.
At 60?
Hey!
You did a triple major?
Drama, art, and women's experience. And the thing that made me realize that I wasn't stupid, because I always, when you're raised in violence, you just don't have the validation that you would normally have as a
Right.
child.
No.
I call it injured innocence.
Injured innocence. That's really very sweet and loving.
Yes.
Injured innocence.
So I went, and all of a sudden I made the dean's list twice, and I became valedictorian. I'm saying, they got the wrong name. Hello. But that made me say to myself, well, maybe you do have a bit of a brain. Maybe you are a little smart. Maybe you can do things that you always thought you wanted to do but couldn't, because you never think you're smart. I never thought I was smart because of the raising. And so I say to parents everywhere, please validate your children, love them every day, praise them, even if it's for, oh, good, you ate your peas this morning. This is lovely. You're wonderful. Oh, my goodness. And you hung up your pajamas. That's wonderful. Oh, my gosh. And you did what? You put the doggie outside. Oh, gosh.
But who cleaned up after the doggie? Mommy did.
So you have to praise and validate. You have to validate, because validation makes the person feel loved. I have a very important thing that I do in life. No matter who I meet, and it's not false, it's very pure from my heart.
Yeah, you're very genuine.
But no matter who it is, whether it's the lady serving me my coffee in the restaurant, whether it's being checked out in the supermarket, whether it's somebody who's passing me in the hallway, I always honor and validate them with something real.
Yeah.
I was in Panama, and a lady passed me, a little darling Panamanian, and I said, what a beautiful, in Espanol, what a beautiful colored blouse you
in
had.
Espanol.
She
just threw that in there.
I speak about 9 languages, little. Skoshi, I know ne, Japanese. but I speak.
Show off.
But it's more to find a people's heart.
Yeah, it is.
So I said that to her, and she beamed, and she said, you made my day. She said, I was feeling badly. And that happens a lot. I'll say something to somebody, and they'll say, oh, you make me feel so good. You never know how you can affect somebody with that. You never know.
And it doesn't take that much.
Oh, no.
It really doesn't take that much.
Like I said in Japanese, skoshi ano ne. Ichiban tamadachi sana keiko desiki masho. Just a little something.
You gotta love her.
You know what? Then there's Latvian. I'm in Ireland and the girl behind the counter, the desk. In Ireland, they have these charming hotels that have been opened up from many, many rooms. And she was in the back of the desk, and I said, where are you from? She goes, I am from Latvia. I said, oh, labdiem, kajumi slabi klajas, paldies slabi. She puts her pen down, runs around the desk, and she hugs me. She says, I have not heard my language in so long. Kissy, kissy. So, mazel tov, abi gesinnt, sei mir gesinnt mit mazel mit Glück. I love languages. I can't balance a checkbook, but I love languages.
Who needs balance of a checkbook? Hire somebody for that.
Yes, hire. Like I said to one friend of mine, I was dating a Jewish guy years ago when I was single, and I said, I'm going to go bowling. I'm in the league. I said, you want to join me? He says, Jews don't bowl, they hire. So I love my Jewish friends. I'm part Jewish here. I had my what's that DNA done when you send away
the ancestors
spit in the glass or something like that.
Right.
I found out that I'm 79% Italian Greek.
Oh my!
Tikanis, parachalo. And that makes me realize why I love Greek so much, the Greek cooking and the dancing.
Have you been to Greece?
I haven't. It's one of the few places I haven't been to. But
I have been there.
Have you been to?
I've been there, and it's beautiful.
Really?
It's amazing. They would love you.
Tikanis, parachalo.
You probably learn how to speak to them in Greek.
That's Greek. Efkaristo poli, parachalo. Es mio tebe. No, that's another thing.
So now, how did you learn all of these languages?
I don't think it's a learning process at all, Gino. I think that we are born with certain gifts. And I have a gift for ear. I love playing the piano. I love languages. My father taught me German when I was little, and he taught me how to count. But I think each one of us, if we could just dig a little bit to find those gifts that we may not know are hidden. I mean, I didn't know that I knew languages until all of a sudden I'm realizing, oh yeah, I speak a little Japanese and Korean and hello. And every time I speak another language, they say to me, when were you there last? When did you live there? I said, well, I've only lived in the United States. It's a matter of, how do I put it? It's a matter of facing your fears, digging in deeply, and finding out what it is that you are. Yeah, I'm going to be 82 in July.
I can't believe it.
And so
I think she's telling a fib. Look at her birth certificate.
So at 82, you know what I want to do? I want to let seniors know that there's an amazing world and a life out there for them. Not just sitting and crocheting or looking at the television. And we try to walk 3.5 miles a day, my partner and I, my partner Jerry.
She has a partner. She's in a relationship at 81. There's no reason, no excuse. I love this.
Well,
you live life.
You have to live life, because every breath you take, that'd be a good song time. Every breath you take is a gift. And every time I look out the window and I see all that, I love gardening. I taught gardening and horticulture to women in recovery at the Prototypes Women's Center out here in Oxnard in California.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And
what
those
a way
girls,
of healing.
yeah, I went away from there more than I ever gave. And please, seniors, go do for others. You will be enriched beyond measure by doing for others, instead of feeling sorry for yourself because this hurts and my arthritis on my knee and my back. Don't do that. Give. The more you give, the more you get. It's a problem sometimes with people that I know in senior. Oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, you know what? I'm writing my second book now. My first book is a children's book.
I just got an autographed copy of it.
It's
Bunny, adorable.
The Bunny and the Mysterious Butterfly. But my second book is Memories, Motherhood, and Marinara.
Tell that title again. I love it.
Memories, Motherhood, and Marinara. What is your life sauce like? When you choose your life sauce, that's what makes the difference. That's what makes the sauce. So give your gifts. Boy, is that an important thing. Give your gifts. Go to the hospitals. Go to veterans hospitals, wounded veterans, children in hospitals that are having problems physically. Go there. Work with them. Go to a pound where the dogs need petting. Do something outside of yourself. You know, I gave tours at the Gardens of the World in Thousand Oaks. I recommend you go to the Gardens of the World in Thousand Oaks. Amazing. Mr. and Mrs. Hogan put this together years ago. It's brilliant. I did that. I was an usher. I did all of these things as far as giving goes. I worked with children, and I speak Donald Duck, which is just charming.
She hasn't done it for me yet. Come on, you've got to do some.
Anyway, I go there and I speak Donald Duck in Spanish to these little children, these little Mexican children. We were giving them eggs and Easter eggs and gifts, and they would look at me like, Madre de Dios, she's speaking Spanish duck. But you know, you have to be a little nutty. I've always said, go outside the box, be a little crazy. So what? So people criticize you. You know, I don't want to use bad language because I don't ever use bad language. But
good for you. More for me.
But be a little wacky. You know, I'm going to be 82 in July, and I hope I have a number more years left to be wacky and crazy and use my voiceovers. I love voiceovers. I did a tape, but I never got many jobs. But I love the different languages, the different accents, you know.
Yes, yes.
You go to something.
You do have a great ear.
Oh, I do. Yeah. This one's good too, but this one's got ear. But doing accents and having fun. One day, one of my daughters taped me, and I was supposed to be a Russian grandmother talking about the village, the old village with Uncle Herta. There were 7 people in village. Uncle Borsky, Maruszewski, Draci, and Repkaka. It was a nice place. We raised the goats. We have the nice. It was fun. Well, she put that on Facebook, and it's been running for years. And haven't gotten a job from it yet, but you know, it can happen.
Coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Let me tell you of a senior thought. My life isn't over yet by a long shot. Love to swim, love to walk, love to pick oranges and grapefruit in the backyard here in Ojai. But every day I wake up, I'm grateful that I woke up. I'm grateful that I had a pillow and a blanket. I go take a shower and I can turn the faucet on. I open the refrigerator door and there's food. Every one of those actions allows me to have a big act of gratitude. I strongly suggest you do that. Be grateful for everything, whether it's the clothes on your back, the shoes on your feet, the grass in the front. Not so much grass now because California's, But you know what? We drove through 33 North and we saw the vast damage of the Thomas Fire. Several of my friends have lost their homes. It was amazing for an hour and a half to be driving and see nothing but devastation.
Yes.
Then I went to the Santa Barbara Orchid Show last week, and my friend drove me through Montecito. I thought Montecito, the mud, vast destruction. It looked like bombing after World War II. Vast. People from Montecito, my heart goes out to you. I hug you. Vast.
It's an amazing thing. The fires that took place here in Ojai and Montecito. I was sharing as well with Carmel that I hike in the mountains. And the beautiful thing about nature is that it's busy about the practice of living. In the midst of burnt trees and the ground that's burned, there is new growth coming up. And so I really love, as she is saying to the seniors, but to everyone, we all have something to give. I truly appreciate your love and vigor for life. When you concentrate on what's not going right in your life, you're right. It's difficult to give from that place, because from that place you have put yourself in prison.
Oh, absolutely. Third time for B-cell lymphoma non-Hodgkin's. Never give up, ladies. Never give up. And the doctor said to me, I said to him, thank you so much for all you get. He says, I did nothing, you did it. I said, why? He said, it's your attitude. So your attitude is, life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% with how you deal with it.
Absolutely.
And whenever I speak to women's groups, and if you have a group you want me to speak to, just call.
She's a fabulous speaker. We're going to have a link for her information down below, so that you can reach out to her and know all the wonderful things that Carmel is doing. You've spoken about traveling all over the world.
Yes.
And how did that come about?
Was very interesting. My late husband was a gentleman named Frank Maguire, and he was one of the original founders of FedEx with Fred Smith.
The FedEx?
Yes,
FedEx?
yes. And Fred Smith, when he passed away, my late husband passed away. I was on a plane going down to Albuquerque to get his remains. Fred Smith had the nicety to call me and say, Carmel, he said, Frank Maguire taught FedEx how to have a heart. Well, after he finished with FedEx and White House, Kennedy and Johnson and ABC, he went on to become an international keynote speaker. So we traveled around the world. First class, Emirates Airlines was amazing.
I only hear about it. I haven't been on it yet.
Oh, we went to Kuwait, Dubai, China 3 times, Sao Paulo, Rio, Argentina. I know how to speak I know how to dance the tango in Argentina. It was just an amazing thing. The most amazing part was meeting the people and understanding why I speak a number of languages, because I found out that if you say 2 words, your heart touches their heart. I was with a Korean lady the other night. I said, "안녕하세요. 감사합니다. chimene." How did you know? It's touching hearts.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with what you're trying to say to them as much as it is opening up one heart to the other. I was in Brazil. I was in Argentina. I'm Italian, so it's easy to speak Spanish.
Yes.
But everywhere I went, they were so honored that you took the time and the energy.
Yes.
Came from Naples, the second generation, and I now have a greenhouse and a hothouse. Don't know the difference, but one of them I'm growing orchids in, and another one I have a fern that it was the size that could have eaten Toledo. It's so huge.
It's
a humongous place. And by growing things, I become closer to the earth. Growing things has made me change from my wanting things to enjoying the earth, the green, the kalanchoe that's outside my window, the podocarpus trees, the orange and lemon and avocado trees, and the grapefruit. And I'm looking out over the Topa Topa Mountains with the clouds forming. And I say to myself, how blessed can I be, first of all, to have eyesight, and secondly, to be able to see these beautiful scenes morning, noon, and night, and see the way the landscape changes. Do you know, look around you. Look around at things you might normally not see. Look at the things that matter, the clouds, the fence post as you're taking a walk. There's lots of little lizards around here that scatter.
They do. They make a little noise.
Yeah, little chickies. And enjoy being you. And you know, I see all this stuff on the computer about you have to look younger and get rid of the lines. You know what? Every line here is something. I've earned it. Every line I've earned.
Shouldn't have that many.
Oh,
so.
you know what? but what I'm
Italian,
saying is,
you know, Italian, you got some black blood going on in there. That's why her skin.
Olive oil. It's olive oil. It's an amazing thing to finally realize who you are. And as I say, at age 80, it's going to be 82 in July. No gifts, just cards. But in July 82, I almost can't compute that.
Yes.
And yet I don't feel 82. I don't know what age I feel, but the joy of being centered and having serenity is an amazing thing. I'm giving a talk at a big Al-Anon AA convention in April. I'm the spiritual speaker on a Sunday morning, April 22nd. And somebody said to me, what are you going to say? I said, really, I can hardly hear what I have to say because I don't know what I have to say. But if you speak and you love to speak, let it come from the heart. Let your neighbors know how much you love them. Let your children and your spouse know, because that's all we have is love.
That's all we have.
This is the American Sign Language.
Yeah.
This is it. Yeah.
Love.
And go forth each day as if it were the last, because you'll live a different life that way, baby. Believe me.
So I'm going to ask you this question.
You are so beautiful, by the way. I'm looking at your lashes.
I love lashes. Thank you. And you are as well. We reflect one another. Mm-hmm. The beauty that emanates from her spirit is what first drew me.
Thank you very much.
It's just her spirit is just
took a long
filled
time.
With
it took a long time. When you are raised in violence and you have no self-worth or self-esteem. I was a little dark Italian girl with all these gorgeous blonde women in St. Joan of Arc School in Jackson Heights. I felt terrible. And my mother would say, "You're so skinny. You don't have my like and I felt terrible because I didn't have the and so dark like your mother and your grandmother. I felt less than constantly. I would look in that mirror and say, God, what an ugly kid you are, Italian kid. What are you doing here? It took years to finally make me feel good. It took years.
So was it a constant?
It was a constant work.
Yeah,
constant work.
It's no overnight thing
No.
when you go through that, or in any part of our life when we start to feel that we're not valuable, because you are.
And
it's not what you do.
No,
it's not what you have.
Not what you make.
Not what you make. It is you. You came here valuable, and to recognize that at whatever age is a gift, because then you give that back to your community.
Absolutely. You know what else helped me? I've been in Al-Anon for many years.
Okay.
And Al-Anon is for those who have been affected by alcoholism. If somebody is in your family and they're not behaving well, your partner, your child, your sibling, I really recommend going to Al-Anon. It'll change your life. It's free, like-minded people, non-judgmental, total love. And when I speak to groups at Al-Anon, they come up to me after and say, "Oh, I want to be just like you when I grow up." I said, "Don't follow me. I'm lost. I'm only here for the holidays." And I don't encourage anybody emulating anybody so much that they make them like that. It's not that. It's here, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Isn't it?
Because
here?
we all have gifts. And without all of us, it doesn't work. There's no one person, culture thing. It's all of us.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it work.
Absolutely.
That's what makes it work.
Absolutely.
So at 82,
81 and
81
and
81 and a
3/4.
half.
81 and 3/4.
81 and 3/4.
Okay.
You are now stepping into a new arena. I love this. Life is constantly evolving, and I love that you are evolving with it.
Yeah.
So I know you have your book. She's, of course, you can see that a speaker, if you need a speaker for anything, Carmel is the one.
Cooking.
She's cooking
I'm
with
cooking.
Steve.
I said that to my oncologist when I saw him for the last time after my 6th infusion, which was rough. I don't want to say it was easy. It wasn't. It was quite interestingly, as I told Gino, I took around planted everything today. The tomatoes, I put them in 3 days ago, where they're already going. Okay, another week you can have me for sauce. Okay. The roses are starting. Everything is perking. You see my flowers. You see the yard.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
spectacular.
So energy is important. Be sure you understand your energy, and be sure you understand how it affects you, and it affects those around you. In closing, I'm going to leave you with a beautiful poem, if you don't mind.
I would love it.
Would you mind? It's called "The Eagle and the Chicken," and Charles Osgood created that. He and my late husband were very dear friends. It goes like this. A man once found an eagle's egg, put it in the nest of a barnyard hen. The eagle just clucked and scratched the ground for worms and bugs, and he played a chicken's game. He only flew some 2 feet off the ground. That's high as chickens, he was told. One day when he was quite old, he looked something up at the sky. It was great and majestic and flying great circles. What's that? He asked in awe at the grace and the beauty that he saw. Why, that's an eagle, someone said. He belongs up there, it's clear, just as you, since you are chickens, belong earthbound down here. The old eagle just accepted that. Most everybody does. He lived and died a chicken, 'cause that's what he thought he was. My dear friends, you've got many miles to fly up there, many great paths to go. Get in touch with the eagle within you. And just remember, you are so loved. God bless you and namaste.
Oh, Carmel, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You know, she talked about that song, Every Breath You Take. Every breath you take, every move you make, every song you say, everything you say, I'll be watching you. I'll be watching you, Carmel. I want to thank you so much. And big hugs to all of you out there at Pass the Mic. These words of wisdom, these beautiful pearls that have just embraced your day. Remember this magnificent woman. Remember the greatness that you are, that we all are. Because we are one, we hold a vision. We are creating our here and now. Just you and me. Just you and me. I'll see you next week on Pass the Mic.
God bless.